Yes,
Yeah,
we're
very good.
live.
Great.
Oh my goodness. Hello, everyone.
Hey there.
I'm laughing because we've had some technical issues. So if anybody's been waiting, please be patient with us or be patient with me. I'm going to take full responsibility. This is our last official online live Q&A. And of course, it's been, I guess, a good long couple of weeks here putting together the festival and certainly doing Q&As with all of these wonderful people and wonderful filmmakers. So I want to welcome everyone to the 2023 edition of the Women's International Film Festival, which is very different. With everything that's happened with the pandemic, I think we've all been pivoting and doing things in a different way. I was saying earlier to Mike Panuski that I'm not sure if I like 100% of the changes, but we pivot and we make sure that we continue to be able to, you know, pursue our passions and try to live a normal a life as possible. So first of all, just want to thank everybody. And I want to really thank Jay and Mike and Kevin Sharpley for being part of this year's event in our new and unique way. I'm not sure what we're going to do next year, but probably will be some sort of combination thereof. So welcome and thank you, these two amazing group of, this group of amazing filmmakers. And thank you for being part of WIFF 2023.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, just really, really excited.
Yes, it's an honor.
So, Jay and Mike, you guys are in Atlanta. And Kevin, where are you?
I'm in Miami, but also I have a base in Atlanta.
Kevin?
Oh, great.
Yes, can you hear me?
Okay.
I
can hear you now. I can hear you now. Okay, perfect. You're where did you say you are?
I'm in Miami.
You're in Miami. Okay.
Yeah, there's a little delay on your video.
Oh, is it? Okay. Let me see.
Yeah,
okay,
so your audio is coming.
We're getting it eventually. It's just not synced, but we can handle it. It's just
Okay.
Okay, so what we'll do is when we see you. Go ahead.
Yeah, I also have a base in Fairburn, which is right outside of Atlanta.
Yeah.
Yep. Cool.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So tell us about the story. We'll start with Jay and Mike. Tell us about the story and how it came about. And you guys are a husband and wife team, first of all.
Yes, we are.
Correct.
Spent a number of years in LA, and now you're in Atlanta. This is so great with this technology that we can all be here together. I'm in New York City at the moment. Kevin's in Miami, and Jay and Mike are in Atlanta. So that's really wonderful that we're able to connect this way. Even though we had a little bit of technical difficulties, but we make it happen, right?
That's exactly right. And if the COVID taught us anything, is just be present and wing it, be flexible. And this is it's a different world. But I think the more we can learn to embrace instead of battling those kind of controversies and obstacles and walls, they're just going to be there. It changed everything.
Yes.
And we know that as filmmakers, if you can't be flexible, you're going to have a hard time on a film set because things come up we're planning on. We do all the planning in the world, but something throws a glitch and we got to, adjust.
Yep. You got to adjust. Tell me about the story. I don't want to give the story away, but tell me how it all came about.
Well, Bound is it's a little bit of family history, but also it was really driven by my friend Michael O'Neill. He and I played brothers in the movie. We've been friends for 30 years, and we really wanted to do something together. And he saw the first short that we made in 2019 and really liked it. And I just thought, wow, it'd be really cool to come up with an idea so he and I could work together. And so I came up with this story of two brothers that are dealing with the death of their father after being estranged from each other for most of their adult life. And they're both faced with a life and death choice. And it's just spoke to a lot of estrangement that I think a lot of families deal with. There was some in my family. And it's one of those things where it asks the question, how long is it worth holding a grudge for? How important is it to be right? And all under the idea that there's nobody that you're bound to on this planet more than people that you're related to by blood. There's a connection that, you know, you could go years and years without speaking, but there's always going to be a connection that goes beyond anything else you're going to experience. And so there's a lot of layers, and there's a lot of history. Obviously, there's a lot of water under the bridge between the two of them, but it's really about acknowledging the value that you have to each other, that you have to no one else, and then how you choose to honor that. And, you know, some people don't. I mean, my mother and her sister took their feud to the grave, and I hate that for them. And some people do that. But then there are stories like what we tried to tell, where if you can find any shred of connection, that hopefully you can build something positive out of that and try to have some kind of relationship. And so that's what the movie explores in 14 minutes.
Yeah, no, it was amazing, and I loved it. And I think what you said in terms of what happens when there is this family
Drama, feud,
drama,
controversy.
and when you mentioned something that I was going to ask you about, which is, you know, what happens if somebody actually passes away and this vendetta is still going on. And, you know, I've always wondered, like, you know, how would that person feel if, you know that, if you know that the other person passed away and you never really found a way.
That's a lot to carry. That's a lot of pain that does really nobody any good.
Yeah. And that was a lot of our conversation going into it with all the films that we make, is you want to see, what are you going to get? How are people going to react? How can we touch people? How can we, I mean, changing their lives is a huge feat, but how, what do you want? And we both said, and our team, if we can get one person to pick up the phone and reconnect with a family member, or even when it's friends that have had this falling out, and then pride and ego and so many things get in the way, that it's no longer even about the thing that caused it. And if one person can mend one of those broken relationships, then it was worth it. And we've had multiple people call us and cry and share, and, you know, just say, it immediately resonated with me, and I had to reach out to this person, and that makes you feel good. You do want to make films that make a difference. And it was a great experience for us. We've done films together before. I hadn't directed Mike per se until this thing. Well,
at least not where you got paid for it.
Right. But I have been a director for about 10 years, mostly in short format, mostly in commercials and public service announcements and that arena. But I had done some other video stuff. And so when he wrote it, I just really read it and said, I really want to direct it. And he was amenable to that. And so it ended up being a great experience. We were really great with our crowdfunding. Is always the hard part, raising the money to make a film like this. Kevin, I certainly want to ask you about that part of it, as we love sharing that with, or hearing that from other filmmakers. How do you make these projects happen? And we told younger people, and maybe not necessarily younger, but students and people learning it, is just make it, just make the project. Don't let the obstacles get in the way. There's ways to do it, especially now with these crazy things, is that, you know, anybody, and yes, there are anybody being filmmakers, and there's some crap out there, but there's some really great stuff being done too. And so, you know, don't let those obstacles like money or things like that get in the way. Have your vision, have your story, and get it told.
I'm so glad you said that. And I think, as you said, you know, now that we have the phones, I mean, the
camera on the suckers is pretty good.
Yeah. And even if you use it as a way to practice your tool, right, to hone your skill. And
sure.
And, I was speaking to somebody the other day, and she was saying that, you know, that's one of the things that she was doing, and then she would do the, sorry, we have some feedback.
That's okay.
Twice. Yeah. Thank you. I'm going to come out of the other one because I found that I was, we have to exit on one of them. Okay, go ahead. No, I don't want to end the broadcast. Okay.
Uh-oh. Oh, there we go.
All right. Sorry. I just felt like my computer was flagging a little bit, and I wanted to make sure that the everything is nice and clear. So I switched. Okay, awesome. Good. We're good. Thank you, Kai. Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, so she was saying that that's what she did. She even used her iPhone to look at shots and to be able to, came back and
Set up shots. You can shoot your rehearsals. You can do stuff that won't, be pressing with your expensive equipment. But, we don't want to get away from using good equipment and make the best product that we can. But the point being to encourage filmmakers and people that say they want to do it, but they don't have the money or they don't have the resources, to get out there and do it. I think we can all encourage each other to.
Of course. I'm going to ask you one more question because you kind of touched on it, Jay, before I get to Kevin. Kevin, I'm going to be with you real quickly. You said something, about directing your husband. What's that like?
It was good.
Should I leave the room?
For us, we knew it was a collaborative effort. I respected him as the writer, and he respected me as the director. And there were times that we had difference of opinion, but you have to do that with any project, whether you're married to the person or not. There's a lot of that struggle, but you want to work with people that are kind and respectful and artistic. And Mike is all of those things. So it was great. There really wasn't but a couple of times when I wanted to get another actor. No, I'm kidding.
Oh, that's great.
It was good.
It was a really great experience. It really was.
So Kevin, let's talk a little bit about your film. And then I do want to ask the question that Jay asked in terms of funding and, and yours is in an animated format. So tell me about that.
Yeah, so I'll talk about funding first. I don't know how much of a delay you're getting. So I hope you're getting it all. But so we were funded by one of my clients.
I'm not hearing anything.
My company is a multimedia company. And so on one side we do branding, and then on the other side we have entertainment. So one of my clients, which is in the mental health industry, they funded the project. And so we went about doing the project methodically, and we were able to bring on board some animators from Kenya that I was a mentor at a boot camp for this Kenyan animation company. And so we were able to bring them on board, and that helped us in terms of
Excuse me, can I interrupt? Are you guys able to hear Kevin?
Yes, we
are.
can. He's still got a little bit of a delay, but we can hear him.
I can't hear him at all.
I'll catch you up really quick. Basically, he's talking about the funding. I'll be your translator.
Okay,
and in his company, he has a branding division, and someone that was in support of this story and its mental health, trying to bring value to that they funded the film. So that helped him. And then he hired these great animators from Kenya that were able to do the animation. Am I correct so far?
Some
Kevin?
of the animation. Right. No, that's right. Some of the animation.
Some of it.
I mean, it was spearheaded by my creative director. And so we put together a team to get the animation done. And, there's an actor by the name of Vince Vargas. He's on a show called Mayans MC that's on FX.
Mm-hmm.
And so he brought the story. And so we kind of wrote the story together. It's based on a true story of a woman who kind of gets brought into a scenario where her husband disappears. Are you still having trouble hearing me, Yvonne?
Yvonne, he's saying you still can't hear him.
You still can't hear him?
I still can't hear him, and I'm so annoyed. We're going to try
because it's really lovely. So he's just telling us that basically, and it's kind of what is on. I looked at the IMDb page, Kevin, and it's the breakdown and the synopsis of the film based on true story. And this woman lost her husband, and she spiraled. But he was saying that Vince Vargas was who kind of was the impetus that started making the story happen. Correct, Kevin?
That's right. Yeah. Thank you for.
What else do you need to make sure Yvonne knows until she can get her issue fixed? I don't want her to miss too much of this because you're telling a great story. of how this all came to be.
Right. So, Vince brought the story, and then, we originally wanted to do it in animation from the start. So, it was a complex story in that it deals with a lot of issues that are going on today, the opioid crisis. We did say this mental health, but more the cycle. So the cycle of, being caught up in a situation that oftentimes is difficult to get out of. And so the wife had 3 kids, or has 3 kids. It's because she made it out of that situation. And, we wanted to deal with, the familial issues that go along with that. And then, being able to have the fortitude to pull yourself out of a situation of crisis.
Yeah.
Sure. So let me catch up Yvonne just briefly so she'll know, but he was saying they originally wanted it to be animated. They knew this when they were developing the story, and that because of the opioid epidemic that's so prevalent today and mental health issues, they really wanted to be able to bring that to the foreground based on this real story of this woman who truly did lose her husband and is raising 3 children by herself. And through her pain, and I'm paraphrasing a little bit because I read the breakdown, she got addicted to opioids.
Kevin, can you say something? Because I think I heard you.
Yeah, can you hear me?
No, I heard him for a quick second. Okay. Want to join one there?
Hold on for a second, Kevin. They're trying to figure this issue out. They're missing your great conversation, so we want to share with them.
I know.
I can try to go back to my other computer or, my phone.
I heard you say I can try to go back to my other computer. So I'm hearing a little bit. I'm just coming to this one, right?
Yeah,
I'm hearing you every now and then. So we're going to try my other computer as well, and we're going to see if we can make this work. And Kevin too. So I know as we talk about the opioid issue, right, has been major. So was this, you said that this was something from a true story?
Right. Yeah, it's based on a true story. And it's one of the relatives of one of the producers. And so, we wanted to translate it in a way that connected with a greater audience is one thing. So that's part of the reason why we did animation. Mm-hmm. But also, the film, ultimately, we wanted to give it a feel of a book. More to connect with, many different demographics. And so we chose the coloring book as a conduit towards telling the story in a way that presents, sort of this kind of clean slate and more of a clean perspective.
So what age demographic are you? You're appealing to like 10-year-olds and up? Sorry to ask the question, but when you say a broader audience,
no, that's great. Yeah, that's great. So we can carry the Q&A amongst ourselves.
I know. Sorry, Yvonne, I'm just jumping in.
No worries.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad she can hear him. It's good.
Yeah, when I say age demographic, it's rather through the perspective of the kids, and being able to allow for people to understand that this is a situation that can happen to anyone. Mm-hmm. And, it's not beholden to people that are connected necessarily into the pipeline that people think goes along with these types of situations.
At every age. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, actually,
exactly.
I remember seeing a report on the opioid pandemic, actually, that had happened, it was in this area up in Boston. And apparently, this was years back, and it was quite bad. And they were telling stories of people who, started. There was one young man. He was a hockey player, and he got injured. And you just start taking something as a painkiller, and next thing you know, you're addicted to it.
Yeah, it's not drug addicts. It's not just people that want to get high. It's people that get sucked into that spiral.
Right. And the pain,
Yeah.
whatever they're facing is really bad. And it's the only thing that gives them comfort.
Exactly. And once you're caught in the cycle, it's not just the opioids, or it's not just the medication. It's really, trying to break out of whatever mental barriers that you have that also, may have brought you to that place.
Right.
And so there are a lot of layers that we wanted to represent with the film. And so as we went about the production, we, really decided that the best way to relay these layers is also through music. And so I connected with a composer friend of mine. His name is Tullio Cremacini. And he composed this touching song early on. And so we did a build around the music that he composed.
Lovely.
And then we decided that another way to relay the story was to, have the notes and the music represented on screen. And those notes and the music, then the representation relays the feelings and the moods and, evokes what's going on with not only the woman that's going through crisis, but also the children that are going through this as well.
Sure.
Great.
Right.
And because we didn't.
And how did you?
Oh, go ahead. No.
I'm so sorry. How did you find the group of animators in Kenya?
Yeah, so I'm a mentor on a boot camp that is connected to one of the biggest animation companies there in Kenya, Animation. And so we had two different developmental workshops or boot camps, two developmental boot camps. And so these were two animators that kind of stood out in both of the boot camps. And so I reached out to them via Animation, and they were happy to come on board. And I did make it to Kenya in December of 2022.
Wow.
But we started working with them a little bit earlier on, and we continue to work with them actually in other projects.
Nice.
Terrific.
Nice. Yeah. Wow. So that must have been an interesting trip to Kenya.
Yeah, it was great, because we're able to see the other mentees graduate and, explore for a couple of weeks. A lot of the film and entertainment industry there. We went to the Kenya Academy Awards. So certainly it was, an incredible experience. I lived in Africa. I lived in South Africa previously. And so this was my second trip. But to be able to bring those animators on board, for me, was a big part of, making this film happen. They definitely expressed themselves through the film itself. So,
I bet.
Oh, that's wonderful, man. Good for you.
We can't wait to see it. So it's an 8-minute film?
Yeah, it's 9 minutes and 57 seconds. So, yeah, we're really excited to get it out. But, to hear what you all have done with your film, keeping it all in the family. So I'm sure, I don't know if that was the easiest way, but your film really touches on a lot of what's going on now in this day and age. And I can say,
thank you.
Yeah, even within my family, it really does, hit home and it hits the heart. So I can't wait to see yours.
Like we're saying, he and Michael O'Neill are veteran character actors that have been working for a long time. So it was really lovely to work with these two old white guys, because we need more films about white guys. That timing wasn't great, but it was more about these two character actors that I wanted to work with. So we try to do much more diverse projects, but this one, the story certainly resonates across all demographics, lives, cultures, everything, because family and blood and bond is important to most cultures, but pride and ego and all those things are also in all of them.
Yeah,
Yeah, absolutely.
absolutely. And it's a story that traverses. I think that you would be able to, if you were to ask 3 people, 2 out of those 3 people would know, if it's not in their family themselves, that they would know, right, of a family where
Yeah.
that's happening. I remember
Very
speaking to
familiar
a really good
situation.
friend of mine where they were saying that it was their mother's 80th birthday, and there were members of the family was planning a really big, obviously a big birthday party, and there was 2 of them that didn't show up because I think there's like 5 siblings, and one of them is not talking to the other, and and so because of that, a couple of them didn't turn up because they didn't want to go to the party for their mother.
No, and how painful for that mom.
I'm laughing
That's
because,
so
but
painful
it's
for
actually
her.
a very serious issue. You would think that they would say, okay, this is about mom. Let's
Exactly.
put her first.
Right.
But I think sometimes we just get so mixed up in our day to day. We're not thinking big picture. We're just thinking about,
We get stubborn.
um,
We get, we just, like Mike was saying earlier, we just want to be right instead of,
yes.
I mean, forgiveness is such a powerful tool, and it's not about the other person. Forgiveness is what frees you from what's holding you with that anger and all that other stuff. But before I forget, did either of you see Hightown, the show about the opioid epidemic? Mike did this series for Stars in the last couple of years, and it's all it was about. And so it's multiple stories about that, and people that just get so sucked into that unfortunate vortex that just takes you out. And it's like we were saying earlier, it's not just drug addicts. It's something that has really, really damaged our society, and especially the teens and youth. And it's kind of a lot of times, like what you're saying, Yvonne, about sports injuries. It's these kids that broke their leg, and then all of a sudden they're looking for heroin. Not all of a sudden, but within a time frame.
Right. Yeah.
But anyway, I just wanted to mention that because they did a good job, I think, with the series. Although it's a lot of sex, drugs, and rock and roll. Mike's like the grandpa on the show. He's the only one with a moral compass, because pretty much all of them are just a mess. But anyway, that's my rant on Hightown.
Is it still on HBO, Mike? Can we catch it?
It's on Stars. The first 2 seasons are on demand, and the season 3 will be out hopefully sometime this summer.
Okay, so we'll definitely everybody go to Stars and look for it. What's the name of it?
Hightown.
Hightown. Okay, definitely. We'll definitely have to watch it.
Based from Providencetown.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll definitely check it out.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. We're definitely going to do it. Jay, I was going to ask about plans for the film for Bound.
Well, we're kind of riding this festival circuit right now, so we're still in the middle of that. It'll go through probably the fall of this year. And then we're both kind of writing and looking at what's next on the project. I mean, as you guys know, these short films are hopefully gateways to other work and to resources and connections. I mean, that's why we did it. You don't really make any money off of it, but we were just hoping to have make more relationships and then get to the next project. We're not exactly sure what that is, but we have 2 or 3 things that we're working on, and hopefully we'll be able to keep moving forward. Whether we'll always work together and support each other. I don't know if we'll do the same. I mean, we're open to, but you know what I mean? I'm pursuing a lot of directing things. Mike's pursuing a lot of writing and acting things. And if those things cross again, that'd be great.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. And Kevin, what about you?
Yeah. So
and maybe you mentioned it and I just didn't hear.
Right. Yeah. Same thing. Festival circuit. We've had a really great response. And then with this particular film, we also want to engage on conversation. And so, we're thinking about, panels and workshops and these kinds of things. So, we're going to ride this one as far as we can ride it in terms of, connecting on this particular topic. And then my company, we have a feature that's in post-production. We have a documentary feature, another one that's in post-production. We just started another short documentary on the circuit. So we have a few different projects, in matriculation. So
yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have a lot going on. You're very busy, Kevin. You always have been, which is a good thing. That's a good thing. You know, I was even thinking as you're talking about this, having panels and stuff, I mean, it would work for both of these films. I remember one time I did a film that was from a woman director out of Canada. And it was called, oh, the name will come to me. Just give me 1 second. But it was about, it was based on a true story that happened where it was starred Rachel Weisz and Vanessa Redgrave. And it was based on a true story where Rachel plays a United Nations police officer that goes to Kosovo during the war. And she finds out that she's asked to cover sex crimes. And she eventually finds out that, the name of the movie is called Whistleblower. And they eventually find out that some of her co-police officers are actually part of this human trafficking ring. And she's able to eventually get enough evidence to expose them. But before she's able to do that, they fire her. But, you know, she's able to get away, get the evidence. She sneaks it out and takes it to the BBC, which is why it's called The Whistleblower. But I'm saying all that to say that we ended up doing a panel at Florida International University, and we had someone from Homeland Security. We had someone from the FBI. We had someone, you know, from the Women's Studies program there at the university. And really, we had this amazing discussion about, you know, and we had somebody from the local police force who was part of the unit that looked for human trafficking. And it was just an amazing conversation. We talked about, it was in Miami. They talked about the fact that, you know, during the Super Bowl and all these major events that come to the city, that human trafficking is picked up. And I was just thinking that as you talk about, you know, both of your films, I could see easily doing really, you know, some panel discussions about the issues that these films present. And I think that's one of the things I love to do, because to me, the festival has always been about not just, you know, I shouldn't say just, but, you know, showing amazing work by amazing filmmakers, but really being able to address issues that impact people, you know.
And starting and having a conversation about it. And God willing, maybe, you know, lead to some sort of change or action. But at least sit and discuss the topic and have a good high-level adult conversation about issues that really matter.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I would love to do that. And I'd love to talk to you more. Maybe this is something we can do if you guys are open to that.
Yeah,
of course.
It's a great use of the medium.
Yes. And I find that once people have been watching, they've been there for 20 minutes, 30 minutes, depending on however long the film is. And I don't know what it is, but there seems to be this, they're much more open to have the conversation. They're much more open to talk about issues, maybe because, you know, they've just been exposed to it and that human factor.
The film broke the ice so that they can go ahead and they're free to talk about it.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. So I'd love to continue that discussion with you guys, and let's see what we can do together, if that's okay.
That'd be great. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I just wanted to say that I am so happy to be meeting you, Mike and Jay. You know,
both of you as well.
Nice to meet all of you guys.
Truly, thank you. And
and whatever we can do to support the film, whatever we can do, we're here. I always say that we're all now, to me, you're part of the WIFF family. And you know, once we got to you, we don't let you go.
Great.
Well, we are so grateful that we were accepted. And then our friend, that it was one of the composers of the music, is who turned us on to your festival. He lives down in West Palm Beach, Robert Goodman.
Oh.
He is a teacher, but he's also just a great music composer and musician. So he turned us on to this festival, and we've shared it with other female filmmakers. One of the ones that we watched, Consumed, which was hard watch, but an issue that you know, I mean, anyway, one of our New York good friends did a film about miscarriage that was very powerful. But Kevin, do know that whenever you're in Fairburn, we're just 45 minutes north in Woodstock. If you ever want to get a coffee or say hi or whatever, if you ever
Oh,
need
absolutely.
to
I'll
reach
be
out.
there next month.
And of course, Yvonne, anytime
Great.
you're in Atlanta, please let us know.
Yes, we'll do. We'll do. And
Yeah,
I just
maybe
want to
we can
remind everybody
collaborate
again that
one day.
That would be great.
Yes.
Sure.
that would be awesome. That would be awesome. I'll make sure that everybody's connected. Okay.
Yeah,
That
please
you
do.
guys
That's
have each
great.
other's
Thank you so
information.
much.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I just want to thanks again for being part of this year's festival and being patient with us today with our technical issues. At least I was able to hear Kevin towards the end.
Yeah.
I'm translating. Sorry to jump in there, but I'm like, she needs.
That's
to
okay.
It is great.
It all worked
It
out.
was great.
A great
Some of it was
festival.
better than what I said. So I'll write it down and use it for later.
Nothing better than a good rewrite.
Great festival.
You know you're really in the business.
I know. I know.
Good luck with the festival and future festivals, Yvonne. It's important.
Thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Women
Thank
need
you. And
more
stay in touch.
encouragement to, you know, have their voices be heard and to collaborate with other filmmakers and just to be encouraged to stick to it.
Yeah, thank you for saying that. I mean, I sometimes I like to, say the numbers, but the numbers are relatively low still, particularly when it comes to, the major distribution companies, the Sonys and the
Yep.
Disneys and all of that. And the numbers are, less than 10%. And then women of color, I think it's like 2%. And so
Yeah.
we know we can do better than that. And I think people are just used to
Without
working with
question.
people that they know.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Our daughter just worked with, can we say this? Because it's not out yet.
Yeah, our daughter's an actress. She just did a movie with Ava DuVernay.
It was life-changing for her.
She had a great experience.
Yeah,
and
she said
so,
she was awesome, of course.
I think it's going to be out sometime at the end of the year. Yeah.
Okay, well, let us know, and
Okay.
we'll do.
Yeah,
whatever
Keep
we
us
can to
connected.
support.
Thank you again, both of you.
Yeah.
Good luck. Best wishes.
Yeah, nice to meet you
Okay.
both. Good luck.
Nice
See
to meet
tomorrow.
you as well.
Thank you all.
Take
All
care.
right, stay safe out
Okay,
there.
and everybody.
Okay. Bye.
Okay,
Bye,
bye.
Kai. No, Kai, bye.
Hi, Kai.
Bye. Kai, they said bye.
Thanks.
Okay, take care. Thanks again, you guys.
You too.
You as
Thank
well.
Be in
you.
touch.